Hello, everybody. This is Michael Barton, and I'm here to introduce the 2016 6ATexasFootball.com pre- and post-game show. It's been a fantastic year so far. We started off with a bang. Just dating back to the 2015 playoffs, there were so many early round losses for teams that were expected to go far, so many big upsets early in the year, and this year has started off with that same kind of bang. We're excited to let you know all about them. And we're coming to you from the Dillon Panther Fieldhouse, which for those of you who don't know, it was featured in the Friday Night Lights TV series. We're ready to get everything started, so let the games begin. Hey guys, I'm Michael Barton.
And I'm Matthew Walmsley.
And we're here with the 6ATexasFootball.com post-game show.
Okay. Okay.
So, getting into the weekend, there was a lot of upsets. There was a lot of things that happened that most people didn't expect to happen. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into the upsets of the weekend. The first upset that we saw was Union over Southlake Carroll. That surprised me. I thought Southlake had a decent offense coming back. I knew their defense was going to be okay. Their run defense got shored up from last year. I was a little surprised by that. How did you feel about that one?
It honestly didn't surprise me. Southlake, it's really been in a decline for the last couple of seasons. They really haven't been on top of their game.
I guess that's true, yeah. I mean, I could see that. They did beat Cedar Hill last year, but, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, Union over Southlake Carroll was a surprise to me. I found it to be shocking. The next one that was, I think, one of the bigger ones of the weekend was Judson taking over Lake Travis. I mean, Lake Travis was expected to come in and just beat everybody. They were basically your state champions. And Judson came in, and it looks like they slapped them around for 3 quarters. How do you feel about that one? Because I didn't like it.
It honestly surprised me a lot. Lake Travis has 5 offensive players with D1 offers already, and I expected them to just steamroll the defense.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. I felt that Judson has a lot of athleticism that isn't really noted well enough. I mean, they're really athletic. They're really fast. Of course, North Shore played them last year in the semifinals, and North Shore got them, but it was close. It was scary. So that one kind of it shocked me. Of course, the one that everybody's talking about, Westlake over Katy. Westlake was kind of expected to go in there and be a good team, but I don't think anybody really expected them to beat Katy, and you know they did. How do you feel about that one?
I can only say one thing, and it's just one person, the quarterback, Sam.
Yeah,
That's enough said.
Yeah. Sam definitely made some plays in that game. Sam was phenomenal. He was fantastic. And another one that kind of shocked some of us over here in Texas was Gorman beating the crap out of Cedar Hill 44-14. That's a 30-point win. I don't think any of us really expected Cedar Hill to do that badly. I expected a lot more out of Cedar Hill. What did you really feel?
Yeah, I was really disappointed. Based on their history, I was expecting a lot more from Cedar Hill.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's some of the big upsets of the week. We might have missed some, but we're going to go on and move to our top 10. We're going to base this off of the AP top 10 list, and we're basically going to go through this weekly and basically tell you who's who, why they're there, and what they did the last week. So starting our top 10 was last week's number 1 top team was Katy, and of course they lost to Austin Westlake 32-29.
Number 2 was Lake Travis, and they lost to Judson 35-28.
Number 3 was Cedar Hill, and of course they took one on the chin versus Bishop Gorman 44-14.
Number 4 was Allen. They beat Hoover, Alabama 25-7.
It was a good game.
Very good game.
Number 5 was Westlake, and of course they beat Katy, who was number 1, 32-29.
Number 6 was DeSoto, and they beat Dallas 47-13.
Yeah, Jesuit's a good team. I was surprised by that one. Number 7 was Cibolo Steel, and they beat San Antonio Madison 37-7.
Number 8 was Galena Park, North Shore, and they beat Spring Decaney 56-19.
Bryant Beatty got 5 touchdowns on the ground in that game, by the way.
It was a very impressive game.
He's going to be someone to watch, to keep your eyes on. Number 9, Euless Trinity. They beat Broken Arrow out of Oklahoma 39-16.
Number 10 was Judson. Of course, they beat Lake Travis 35-28.
Yes, they did. So let's take you to some of the highlights from that Westlake Katy game.
of our last segments is called the game-winning drive. It's where Mike talks about the game we just attended. Let's see what he thinks about it.
So this is Mike with the game-winning drive. I'm just going to talk about Katy and Westlake, kind of my thoughts after the game. I saw a lot of Sam Ehlinger just making incredible plays time after time after time. But what caused that? Katy usually has one of the best defenses in the state. I mean, typically year in, year out, they're top-notch. And what I saw was their defensive line just wasn't getting the pressure they need to stop a quarterback like Sam. Kind of looked to me like they were playing a spy contain, and that's how you stop a quarterback like De'Aaron King from Manville last year. I agree with that, but this isn't De'Aaron King you were playing against. This is Sam Ehlinger. He's more of a he knows how to find that open receiver, and he really gets the ball to him, and that's kind of what happened throughout the whole night. Katy's offense was all right. They weren't bad. The offensive line was doing their job for the most part. Deandre Glass is a blazing back. He came in, and his speed just took the game over by itself pretty much. A lot of what I saw was just Katy not using the right defensive scheme for a team like that. If you look back at the North Shore 2015 championship game, they got pressure on Sam all night long. They played a cover one press and basically just manned up on the outside, and that's what you got to do. You have to have phenomenal athletes, but in all honesty, I didn't see the athletic prowess on Westlake's receiver corps that I saw last year out of them. Boykin seemed to be okay, but he wasn't really the deep corner threat that Coakley was. And really, at the end of the day, you have to put pressure on that quarterback. It's really as simple as that. Sam is the kind of guy that can make plays with his feet. So what was going on was the outside linebacker, number 43 for Katy, was spying a lot. But Sam would kind of step that way, step the other way, and just take it up the middle. That's one thing I really noticed he was doing a lot of, was he was taking it up the middle after shaking up the play and really breaking the foundation of what Katy's defense was trying to do. Katy's defense was still fantastic. They need some work in the secondary. Receivers were jumping past them all day long, and they were just getting beat deep a little bit, and they'll be okay. Westlake's defense really surprised me. They were pretty much where I expected them to be, but they surprised me with their discipline to stay home. They lost Glass on a couple plays, but I think any defense in Texas will lose him from time to time. But really, Westlake surprised me with their defense more than anything else. I mean, again, they were exactly they were about where I expected them to be, except for they were more disciplined, and they stayed at home more often than I remember last year. All in all, it was a great game, fantastic football game. It was one of the best I've seen in years. But Katy could have walked away with that game had they got more pressure on the front seven. I thought Katy's defensive line was going to go in there and just tear everything up, and that just didn't happen. It didn't formulate. Westlake's got a big offensive line. I did notice that. And Watson makes a good compliment to Ehlinger in the backfield. He's a big back. He was running north and south. Katy was able to corral him a few times, but there were times where Katy needed to stop a third down conversion, and Watson just pushed through. So Katy's got a long way to go to be in contention for a region title this year, I believe. And Westlake, they're doing what they got to do. I really believe they're a solid football team. They've made leaps and bounds over last year, and in a lot of ways they're very similar to what you saw out of them against North Shore and Allen last year. I think they're going to play Lake Travis to a very, very good ball game, and that's pretty much it. So that's the game-winning drive.
Man, Mike, you made a lot of good points in that video. It was very good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, let's go ahead and take you in for a word from our sponsors.
This is Desmond Antoine presenting to you the 6ATexasFootball.com Player of the Week. Brought to you by Repair Experts Electronic Service Center. For all of your iPhone, Galaxy, tablet, and PC needs, call Repair Experts. Get your fix. Of all of the Texas quarterbacks in 6A, today we have chosen Sam Ehlinger. Sam led Westlake to a 32-29 victory over previously number 1 ranked Katy Tigers. Rushing for 64 yards and throwing for another 250, Sam Ehlinger had 2 touchdowns on the night, and that is why he is our 6A Texas Quarterback of the Week. Back to you, Mike.
All right, so another game we went to, of course, was the North Shore versus Decaney, where Bryant Beatty had 5 rushing touchdowns. So we're going to take you straight into some highlights from that game. that brings us to our close. Thanks again for joining us on the 6atexasfootball.com post-game show. And once again, I'm Michael Barton.
And I'm Matthew Walmsley, and we'll see you in the next show.